I think it's official. I mean, I know it's official. And this is my new office. I don't want to say exactly what building I'll be in, but because I have a thing about announcing when and where I work. Never understood why people do that. But Lower Manhattan, the belly of the beast, is going to be my destination starting in mid-January. And I'm very, very happy about this. It's a job I've wanted for a long time. They don't hire very often. And when they do, it's supposed to be a year-long process. Because of COVID, this ended up being a 2-year process. But I'm happy with it. Very happy so far. So, I mean, unless I just suck at the job and get fired, I can finally say goodbye to this livelihood that I have been trapped in for almost exactly 20 years. It didn't always feel like a trap, but it has felt like that for a number of years now. I was looking for ways out of this for many years. I think if anybody was spying on me over the last 4 or 5 years, they would have seen a person in real distress, a person in real professional and economic distress. It's true, I've been working at home for all this time, and that sounds like everybody's dream, but believe me when I say it got monotonous. And I have been just so burned out on doing what I've been doing. And I just couldn't seem to reinvent myself or re-energize myself to get back to doing that. Get back to slinging web pages and creating useful stuff. But yeah, Lower Manhattan, one of my favorite parts of town. I'd live here if I could afford it. The belly of the beast. So even though I have over a month before I start, I just thought I'd come down here today to familiarize myself more intimately with the streets and everything. TIL, Maiden Lane becomes Cortlandt Street. So I'm just going to walk around and make video of my new environment. Oh, I didn't see this coming. I wonder if it works. Nope. This is 28 Liberty Street. I do remember this one now, but I wasn't expecting it to be here today. It's very low. I mean, like, average height person might bump his head on the roof. I mean, I could well learn to hate the job, of course, but in the moment, it's not so much the nature of the job. It's just I have to evolve.
So I did this twice.
And in other developments, last week was a really stupendous week for me. Another bizarre women week, or weird women week for me. I thought I was done with that stuff, but at least it was in a positive way this time. A reason I am opposed to revealing when and where I go to work goes back to an incident, or a series of incidents involving an individual who wouldn't say quite rose to the level of a stalker, if you can rise to that level, but he was pretty damn close. And he was a total pain in my ass for 2 or 3 years, I think. It's a long time ago now, but I still remember it. And well, that was one of the things he did. He would show up at my place of work, like repeatedly, and he was never allowed into the building, but he would get into the elevator and ride up with me and just harass me. And it's a long, complicated story, but ever since then I've just been very reticent about announcing when and where I work. I've never had a LinkedIn profile, and I don't apply for jobs where having a LinkedIn profile with your professional history being made up public information. I just don't apply for jobs like that. I'll tell you a little secret though. I have really, really come to hate my websites and the whole livelihood, if you can even call it that anymore. It's got to a point where if I see another line of computer code, I'm gonna hyperventilate. This is such a cool part of town though. I think I said before, the hiring process took 2 years. It's supposed to be 1, which I thought was outrageous to begin with, but what do I care? I can wait. But they needed everything in terms of paperwork. Everything from my birth certificate to high school diploma and college diploma and college transcript, and the actual Social Security card, which amazingly I still have. It's like I was walking around with my whole life in a bag when I went to sign all the papers and stuff. I knew a guy who had to do something like that. I think he said he was buying a condo or a co-op or something. He had to present all that physical paperwork. And so he was probably walking around with the exact same set of papers I was. Birth certificate, passport, social security card, on and on. But he, after they finished the transaction, he went to a bar and somebody stole the bag. I don't remember the details of how he recovered everything or how long it took, but it was like a nightmare. So I don't know if this life change, I guess I can call it that, I don't know how it might affect anything else. I would like to move out of my current place, but it's always just been impossible to find a good reason to do that. It's a good place. But I'm on the fence about what to do with my websites. Maybe they'll be fun again if I can treat them like a hobby. If you ever read Freakonomics, they're very, very smart. At least the stuff I've read. They probably don't hit a home run every single time, but they were talking about how smart it is to know when to quit. If you run a failing business like I've been doing, maybe it's time to just quit and stop trying to resuscitate it. And I think I crossed that point a long time ago. When I say I hate my websites, it's not the content, it's not the subject matter, or I don't hate the fact that they exist. It's the mechanics of it all. I have a lot to blame on myself for that, but that's a long story. My sites are hosted on a server that really makes absolutely no sense for one person to be using. But don't let me get boring on that. It is pretty expensive too. But after 25 years of accumulation, or 26 years, I guess, it's just so much to unravel. And simplifying just is hardly even an option now. Since, you build one site, then you do another, and they all get interconnected somehow. But there'd be so much cleanup work. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I should just stop complaining. I'm gonna go look at some helicopters.